698. Hey, you guys. Hi. Hello. Welcome to today's Tuesdays. What's today? June 20th, 2019. Welcome to today's Q&A. We're talking about CSA scores. What is a CSA score? What the heck is that? What does CSA mean? All that good stuff. That's what we're talking about. So we're going to improve your score, improve our score, all of the above. Of course, let's get all the housekeeping out of here. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave it in the comments and we are in the chat, and Anna and I will get to that right away. Hey, Anna, she's right here, ready to go. So wave hi, let us know where the heck you're at. And of course, like I said, leave any questions that you might have. We're talking about our CSA scores. They definitely weigh heavily on your record and they can weigh heavily on your time. So we're talking about what that is and how to improve it. So if you've ever wondered what makes up your CSA score, those are all the things that we're going to be talking about today. And as always, we will address some of the current opportunities that we have here at Decker. And if you want to get a hold of one of the recruiters, I did put the number up there and I put the number up there for you as well. You can call us at 888-668-0698 and get a hold of one of the recruiters, or just apply online. drivedecker.com is the website. So drivedecker.com. And if you want to fill out the full application, up in the upper right-hand corner, it says apply now. You can fill that out and get going right away. So what does CSA stand for? That's what we're going to talk about. CSA is the Compliance, Safety, and Accountability. Just why I want to stop right here real quick. We provide this information to you on a weekly basis, every Monday on our Facebook channel, every Tuesday on our YouTube channel. So Facebook is at 4 p.m. Central. YouTube is Tuesdays at noon Central. And we want to make sure that you have all the information available to help you improve not only your driving habits, but your knowledge of what's going on in the industry and how it will, in fact, affect you. But with all of that being available to you and so much of it being on video or audio, we want to make sure that you're driving safe, no distracted driving. You know, I mean, obviously there's always something distracting you, but please don't one up that level. Make sure that you're going about it safely. Use this, access this on your downtime, on your off time, whatever, just not while you're driving. Please be safe, like so many other things. You know, your CSA scores, this is going to affect it. If you're not, you need to know the information on it. You need to know what the categories are. But if you're not taking action on it and not following through, and you're using your mobile device when you shouldn't be, those are all things that are going to put you in a bad spot. So I'll get off my soapbox. I do want to make sure that you guys are going about it safely. Obviously, subscribe to us on our YouTube channel as well as following us on our Facebook as well. But all right, so we got that out of the way. Behave. Hey, Jackie, how you go? Yeah, no, you won't. Yes, you will. All right, compliance, safety, and accountability. So that's what the CSA is all about. Back in 2010, well, it was back a little bit further than that even when it started, but 2010 CSA, do you guys remember that coming about and how they kind of did the countdown and this is going to come about, this is going to weigh heavily, you're going to need to know what's on your record. So you've got your MVR, which is your motor vehicle record, and you've got your PSP report, which is your pre-employment screening program. And the PSP is the reflection of your CSA points. Compliance, how compliant you are with the DOT regulations, your safety habits, your safety, what your safety record is showing. And of course, accountability, making sure that you are following through on all of these steps, whether it be a pre-trip, and then you're not getting written up on all these inspections for things that you might have missed on your pre-trip. And by the way, if you don't have a checklist of what to go through on your pre-trip, you can actually access that on our blog, which is drivedecker.com/blog. Access that. You'll have a pre-trip. There's one for refrigerated. There's one for flatbed. But that way you've got it. You can go through it and make sure you're doing the proper pre-trip. You're taking the safety measures that you need to take. So you're holding yourself accountable for everything. Another way that we're being held accountable is the new Eld system that's being required in all of the trucks. Now, with that Eld, instead of the paper logs, you have to manage your time better. You are responsible for yourself. The company can't go in and fix things the way that you're supposed to, or with your drive time and and whatnot. Like, that is your responsibility. We are holding you accountable for that. And as a company, we are held accountable to make sure that those are in all of the trucks and that you are abiding by that and you're following your rules, and that we are still getting you the miles that you need in order to make a living and continually, obviously, get the income. But we're each held accountable in different ways. And again, that's the CSA score is just reinforcing that by making sure that you are taking those steps. So I did hit on the PSP and the CSA. So I've got a lot of acronyms here, but the PSP, Pre-Employment Screening Program, is a reflection of your CSA score. So there's not actually a percentage, there's not actually a percentage that a driver is given on the CSA. However, the company is given a percentage for the CSA score. Now, the driver does get points against them for any CS or any violations that they're written up for. And those are reflected on the PSP report. So the CSA points are put on the PSP report. Does that make sense? Because I know I'm using a whole bunch of just short codes. There we go. Short codes and stuff for you. But I want to make sure that you understand what the difference between the two are. And then you've got your motor vehicle record. That is separate than your CSA and your PSP. Although it does weigh on it, it's separate. Okay. You might have a ticket on your MVR and it's not on your PSP report. It probably won't be on your PSP report. You might have a write-up on your PSP report, most likely, but you're not going to have it on your MVR. Okay. So your PSP report, it's a reflection of all of the, I have a delay. Does everybody else have a delay in their video? It's raining here, so I'm wondering if that's the problem. Okay. So the PSP is showing all of the inspections that you had. And I know a lot of you guys do not like to go in for inspections. And I understand that it's definitely downtime for you, but that doesn't mean that it's that is a bad thing. Because if you had been written up for, say, one thing a couple of months back, and then of course that had brought down your CSA score. Well, you can increase your CSA score by getting more and more inspections. The more inspections you have, the quicker you can improve your CSA score. Okay, so I think that's really important, and it's on there for a 3-year period, but the 24 months is when it's all considered. Okay, and it updates within that. What did I want to say about that? So the inspections, the more inspections that you have, the quicker you can increase your score. And obviously you want to have a good score, because then if you are, for example, what I see a lot as a recruiter is someone who's trying to come aboard to Decker, and they might have some write-ups on their inspection reports that we can't work with. They might have been pulled over by a DOT officer and written up. Even if it was a warning, those are things that you need to be aware of. You need to know what there is on your PSP record, and you need to know what companies can and can't work with and how it will affect you. Obviously, you're going to get pulled in more often if you have a lot of write-ups. If your company has a lot of maintenance issues, those are things that you're going to be pulled in more often, which is going to create even more downtime for you. And for those of you who don't like the inspections, then don't like to take the time for the inspections, then you need to make sure that you're doing the proper pre-trip. You need to make sure that your company is being held responsible for their part in everything, so that we can keep you, so that the company can keep you moving, and you're not going to have those points against you, which could eventually take away your license if you're getting too many points against you. Okay, so what kind of things are going to be considered in the CSA? I did hint on being pulled over and getting written up, maybe warnings. I talked about just the inspections themselves that are being written up, but they're unsafe. There's different categories. So you've got the basics, the basic categories for, or what does that stand for? Behavior analysis. I always struggle with this. Behavior analysis, safety, improvement categories. Okay, so those are the basic categories. that you have. So it's unsafe driving. Those are going to be recognized. Vehicle maintenance. Those are going to be recognized. And driver fitness is another one. So driver fitness. And a lot of times with the driver fitness, what you may or may not see are going to be more hours of service and fatigue driving, things like that, that could be written up, all fall under the driver fitness category. So being prepared is key. It's just what you need to be prepared for when you go into an inspection. And part of being prepared is having that proper pre-trip so that you know what issues are going on with your vehicle, with your truck, your trailer, and what issues that you may have just taken care of. If you have an issue with your truck or trailer, it needs to be addressed with your maintenance department. Make an appointment with the shop, make arrangements with the shop, whether it be your shop or another a shop while out on the road. Get a hold of your maintenance department and they will figure it out with you. You need to schedule it. Blaine mentioned yesterday, it takes time to get some of those scheduled in. Shops are busy. If you notice that there's something wrong, quickly get a hold of them. Start making those arrangements so that the further you delay it, the worse that problem is going to get. Take care of it. Maintenance is crucial to maintaining consistent miles and keeping you safe and everybody else safe that's out on the road. So maintenance is crucial, and that's part of why the CSA throws that in as one of the basics. Okay. So equipment. I do want to hit on that. For us, we have several different, not only hardware, software, but the quality of equipment that we have is held at a whole lot higher standard than a lot in the industry, because we know how important it is to keep you moving and to keep you out of the shop. The more downtime that you have, and yes, we do pay breakdown if that applies. We do pay breakdown along with layover, detention, all that kind of stuff. But you're not making as much money on the breakdown as you would running, and you shouldn't. You want to get running, and so we want to get you out of the shop and making that money for you, for the company, and for your own sanity, so you're not sitting there twiddling your thumbs. I know it drives you guys crazy when you're sitting around. So top quality maintenance, knowing what the heck is going on with your equipment is key. And again, talking about that pre-trip and going through all of it. Now, our equipment, the 579 Peterbilts, the 730 Volvos, the 740, 760 Volvos. We even have a few Cascadia Evolutions that we got earlier in the year. Those are all a newer model, an average age of 18 months here. So that's part of the maintenance program, is making sure that we have newer equipment, less likely to break down, less likely to have maintenance issues because they don't have the high miles on them yet. When they're running around 350,000, that's when we're looking to trade it in. So about 3 years, those trucks are being taken out of our fleet and getting an upgrade. And you'll see that a lot going on right now. We're constantly getting upgrades in all of our trucks. So that does obviously help with it. In addition to that, some of the upgrades, the enhancements, I guess, that we've had here in 2019 also help to improve the inspections, help to keep the maintenance issues, I guess I should say, out of the inspections. So with our flatbeds, we've got the new headache racks. We've got new securement tabs, I guess, for some of the hoses to keep them from rubbing. We keep things clear from up on top of the headache racks. We've got a new side box that is a great place for the chains. Well, it's there for the chains so that you've got those secure. They're less likely to get weathered. Beautiful chrome. I mean, we've got the longer catwalk, which is another safety feature. So there's a lot of enhancements that we've done. We've got the chrome bumper. We've got the chrome plated license plate and the bug shield. So those help with fuel mileage. They can help with fuel mileage and whatnot, but they're also stronger. So if someone nicks you, you're not going to have less likely to have a dent or a crack or any abrasion of some sort from someone getting you if they're just sliding by real quick. And I'm assuming a four-wheeler, by the way, but if they're just coming by you real quick, it's gonna not have as big of an impact with some of those additional enhancements that we have from our 2019 trucks than we did on our older ones. So again, making upgrades is going to help to improve the maintenance of them and the wear and tear on the wires and the wires, the hoses, the tubes, making sure that you have the extra fluids. Here at Decker, we've got a bin on the side of the tractor. You can open up the door. You've got a couple of different bins with extra fluids that the shop will continually keep you full of those. We want to make sure that they're always refilled when you come into the shop so that you've got plenty out on the road. You have to be purchasing them out on the road. You've got extras on quite a bit of that. You've got your fire extinguisher there on the side as well. Just those are all things that you're going to be checking off during your pre-trip, and they're all things that are going to keep your maintenance intact. So, hey, Amy, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, so those are hitting on the maintenance part of it, okay? And there's so much more. Making sure that your tires are in order. Those are the things that you can be written up for on a consistent basis. And you want to obviously avoid any of that. You most definitely want to avoid anything that's going to put you out of service. When you're out of service, that's going to be a bigger kick to you, not only on your time, and then not only on your time for downtime, but on your time for the extra energy that you have to get to have a shop come out and get you, a tow truck come out and get you, or someone take care of whatever that issue is before you can even start moving. And then, of course, it's in the long run, you are being held accountable for making sure that maintenance is taken care of. And the shop is here to help you. You just need to make sure that you're taking the time to address it with the shop, with the maintenance department, so that we can keep you moving. All right. So vehicle maintenance, unsafe driving. We see a lot of, we as in the recruiting department, when we're looking at someone's PSP, I see a ton of following too close, 15 over tickets, using a handheld device, and so a mobile phone device. These are all things, we don't see a lot of reckless and careless driving necessarily on the PSP, but all those driving without a license, those are all things that we see quite often on the PSP. Those are major, major moving violations. So a careless and a reckless is a major moving violation. But did you know that those others were? Because if you didn't, they all weigh equally. And even if you are told that don't worry, this is just a warning. I'll just give you a warning, and no big deal. I'll give you a warning. I needed to tell you what you're getting pulled over for. You know what? It's really frustrating for us on this end, because you're getting a warning and you might be feeling better that it's just a warning. You still can't get that off your record, and the insurance company is going to see it that warning the same as they are going to see as a ticket. So whether it's on your PSP, because it doesn't identify whether or not it's a warning, it identifies that you were written up for it, warning or not. And the insurance company, when they run the PSP for anybody, they're going to see what you were written up for. They're going to see that on the PSP. Now, as an MVR, you can fight the MVR. You can go to court for the MVR. You can sometimes take those things off of your record with going to court, with getting a lawyer or open road or whatnot. When it's on your PSP, that is a lot harder to fight. So if you just follow the rules, those safe driving habits that you should have, if you don't, there's ways to improve that. But if you're just taking the time to drive safely and to follow the rules, then you're less likely to get those write-ups or get those tickets that can, in fact, weigh heavily on you. There are a few things besides just those points against you on your CSA score. We have a monthly bonus, which can get you an extra 4 cents a mile. That bonus is fantastic. It's month to month. You can do, it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't. What you did last month isn't going to affect this month and what your bonus is. If you get written up a CSA point during that month, you automatically, that's a wash. You lose 200 points off of a 1,000-point scorecard system in our book. So you lose 200 points for that month. That means that you don't receive a bonus. That's going to cost you 4 cents per mile on all the miles you ran, because you could have gotten a 4 cent a mile bonus, and you should get that 4 cent a mile bonus. But if you get written up, or if you get CSA points against you, that's a wash. You lose that. So again, you need to be aware of it. If you're following too close, you can get kicked off the insurance. That's scary. If you were on a type of probation for a company, or if you already had a couple of tickets before, within the last 3 years, that following too close, or that speeding ticket, or whatever that minor ticket might be, it may be a minor ticket. Following too close, by the way, is not a minor ticket, but that might be a minor ticket that you have. But if you had other ones before, you could lose your job. Please take the time, slow down, know what you're doing. If you're struggling with safety habits, there's ways to improve it. We have the Smart Drive system, which it's taken some time to get used to. We have admitted that. So we've got the Smart Drive system. It's part of it are the inward and outward facing event recorders. It has a big old gauge. Patrice, if you guys check out our Facebook channel, Patrice was just awarded the top coaching award for the Smart Drive system. We've seen some amazing improvements in our professional drivers here at Decker. For those who have improved their scores like fanatics, like just huge improvements on their scores within the Smart Drive system. So even though the Smart Drive system isn't part of our monthly bonus, it is factored in on our Driver of the Month awards, which again, we can talk about that some more later. But if you've got good driving habits, you're going to have a good scorecard. They are similar enough that if you've got one, likely going to have the other. So if you are struggling if your habits are below average or not where they should be, that Smart Drive system is going to help train you into better habits. Not following so close is a prime example. Not hovering over a line when you're, for the lane departure system. Those are all things that are going to give you a little bit extra time on. So yeah, I just want to hit on that. I see that I'm missing some comments, so I want to just pause for just a moment and make sure that I'm going through everything. Hey, Amy, we didn't even get a storm. I was expecting one, and it was pretty dark, but it must have just went right around us. Allergies. Safe driving, yep. But what are the semi-rules for being on U.S. highway for having so many cars behind you? Do they still have to pull over with 5 cars? That's a great example. This time of year, you need to start pulling over. You see a few cars behind you, put on your flashers, move over to the side, because it could. That's a safety hazard. When you're backed up that much, that's a safety hazard. PT, I need some advice on whether. Okay. Let's see. One of the most common accidents is a rear end collision. That's right. Trucks can be 40 times more heavier than the vehicles in the stream traffic, so it takes longer for them to come to a stop. Absolutely. Absolutely huge. There's lots of stats here that we could give you too, you guys. Reducing your speed is going to be, you don't just have to have that Smart Drive system to make improvements. So I didn't want that to come across. So you don't have to have the Smart Drive system. However, being aware of what your current habits are and how you can improve, that's where that Smart Drive system comes into effect. Because a lot of times you're not aware of the poor habits that you might have until you have something like that, and then you can increase it. So you've seen lots of prevented accidents because of it. Absolutely. Let's see, make sure that I get these. Okay. What else did I want to talk about? With the Smart Drive, we kind of hit on that. Oh, I did want to also mention with our Smart Drive system, after 120 days of safe driving, so no CSA points, safe, your Smart Drive system is reading that your habits are good. You can have your inward facing event recorders or inward facing cameras, whatever you want to call them. They can be deactivated after 120 days. So, yep, very good. Oh, Amy, I bet, especially out in the Sealy area. Yeah, that's an area where there's a lot of boats. For those of you who aren't familiar, a lot of boats, a lot of trailers. I mean, a lot of pickups with boats and trailers. It's usually the other way around. Pickups, trailer, boat. But that's an area that heavy traffic, narrow roads, not a lot of side or shoulder, and in a lot of really windy areas. So you're coming around a bend, you think you have enough time, and you don't, because you're going through the mountains. So going through passes, and yeah, absolutely. You get caught behind something that's pretty dangerous. Yep, choosing poor choices, that can in fact make it worse. So unsafe driving, operating a commercial vehicle in a dangerous manner, that is one of the basics that are out there. Speeding, not wearing your seatbelt, improper lane change. Speaking of what Amy brought up, improper lane change is a big one. So that can be fixed. That can be avoided. I should say that can be avoided. Fixed, not after something bad happens, but avoided, yes. What does that say? The most common speeding incidents occur because of failing to reduce speed at the plane of sign. Did I read that right? Accelerating too much, yeah. So, what else? Crash indicators based on the basics or whatever. How consistent or how often you'd be involved in a crash because of your habits. Those would be on there. Giving yourself enough stopping distance, controlled substance, because that is something easily prevented. Controlled substance, that's a huge hit on a company, on an individual. You guys are going to lose your license if you are hit with a controlled substance or alcohol, or operating a commercial vehicle with one of those. You're putting people in danger. Do not do it. Secondly, you're going to lose your license. You're losing your livelihood. You work too hard and you put too much time out there to lose that. Just don't do it. That's right, Amy. Just say no. Come on, you guys. It's too dangerous. People are out on the road. You're out on the road. People care. People care about you. People care about the others that are out on the road. And yes, they're the freight and the loads and the truck. But come on, you guys. Too many of you are out there. Hazardous material, being compliant with those. Those are all things that are going to weigh on the CSA score. All of them. Driver fitness, that's going to be making sure that you have a valid CDL. Driving without a license, dang, that's a big hit on somebody. And again, that can prevent you from getting to a company that you might want. It can prevent you from getting bonuses that you might want. It can kick you off of somebody's insurance, and therefore you lose your job altogether. Basically, failing to maintain your qualifications as a driver. Those are all things that are going to be factored in there. Now, if you get hit with some of one of those, if you get hit with a write-up CSA point, then again, try and get some more of those inspections. Fix it first. Fix whatever it was that you got written up on, and then try and get some more inspections. Grow that number a little bit quicker. It'll help improve it quickly. People learn it's not worth it. Yep. That's right. Absolutely. And driving drunk or driving under the influence, another big one that's comparable is using a mobile phone device or using a handheld device. Doesn't necessarily have to be a mobile phone. Could even be your navigation or something. It's distractive driving, and using all of your cognitive or whatever it might be. Those are all things that are going to factor in on whether or not you are able to handle a situation, react to a situation quickly enough. It's like impaired driving. If you watched during April and the beginning of May, if you watched any of our distractive driving Q&As, it's just like it. We gave you stats upon stats on how dangerous that is. So, and those write-ups hurt. Seat belts, that's another one. You know, what are those oh, those little bears back on this was a few years ago, the Ellen DeGeneres show. She had those little bears for your seatbelt. You know, if your seatbelt bothers you that much, get one of those little padded little bear things that they put on there. Is a teddy bear. Yeah, get one of those things. And so it's not rubbing on your neck or chest or whatever. And wear your seatbelt properly. Getting written up for that is ridiculous. In my opinion, it's ridiculous. And I don't like it rubbing on my neck, but there's solutions to that. So I get that. So wearing your seatbelt properly. Click it or ticket. That's right. We hear that all the time, don't we? I'm assuming that other states are enforcing it just as much as you and I are. Yeah, me too. Me too. Especially those Halloween episodes, right, Amy? Where they're doing costumes. All right, improving the score. Avoiding the distractions. We do have that's the other thing, is safe training. I'm going to take a sip here. So if you're wondering how to improve your score, that Smart Drive system is good. And I know I keep bragging about it, but the Smart Drive system is good because you can actually see what habits you have, what poor habits you have, and good habits you have, so that you can improve on the ones that need to be improved on. Because there's a whole dashboard of things that you can work on. The other thing is training, having the quarterly safety trainings that we have here at Decker, and having you go through all of that, and just as reminders, because you know your job, you know what to do, you're a professional driver, you've been trained at it, but having those reminders, or maybe those tips or tricks on how to improve it, those are very, very, very helpful. So take advantage of those quarterly trainings and take your time to go through them. Let's see. Yep. If your CSA score gets too low, then you get bonked off. That's right. What's the Montana link? What was the Montana lingo? I'm probably saying thanks, don't know. All right, you guys take care of it. There's a lot.